good morning everybody. This is Joe from Extreme Pro Koi. It's been quite an eventful month, September, for me. I actually got something that a lot of people try to get. Even when you think you're trying, things may be against you in some ways, but at the end of the day, you just got to keep persevering. Andy Baker always used to say to me, "Kai, you ain't done nothing till you get a plate at the All England." Well, I'm pleased to say I got my plate at the All England, so that was good. Supreme Champion, Kahaku, got from Yumi. So that's an achievement for me now. So the pond's obviously doing well. Bodies on the fish look really good, but I'll go and show you that in a minute. As I say, it's just an update. I haven't done a lot because I haven't been 100%, but many will say I'm not 100% anyway, but I haven't been 100% well, so this is just an update video of me growing on system, my main pond, and how it's doing. So hope you enjoy. I'm going to do a recap on my system. I'll just show you some of the things that I've actually got. That's a greenhouse heater, very economical, Bio Green Phoenix. That comes on to keep the air temperature inside and cuts down majorly on the condensation that you can get with having like an indoor. So it's all right saying you're heating it, but you will get condensation. And when I say condensation, it could be major, or if you're keeping the inside temperature, I normally try to go 2 degrees above the water temperature. That tends to keep down on the condensation. I've also got, this is a bowl, a measuring bowl, and when I do any photographs of fish, that came from the Koi collection, Ken. So if you need any of them, he does all of that, which is good. I was using a dehumidifier, but I don't use that now. I know David Edge used it. I think he uses one. Whether he uses it now, I don't know. But then I've got my Profi feeder. So the Profi feeder, I only use one. I was going to have two because I've now put floating and sinking in there mixed. It's about a third of sinking. And then I've got my nets, got my big net that comes from Japan, which I got second hand off of Des Harris. So he's a guy you can get some second hand bits off of, so that's quite good. I've got this is my LED light, which I can turn on. This one here comes on when I stand near the pond. The other one, which is up there, I've done that so that you don't get the reflection of the light actually in the water when you're watching overnight. So that's really good. I've also got a Blue Lab Guardian. That's worth having. I was using Akari for my food and JPD. I've started using Nutrimere, which you can get from a guy called Dan. If you go online, you can find him. That seems to be working. Is it better than Akari? I don't know. All I know is it hasn't made a difference. It hasn't made any negative difference using it, and it comes out cheaper. So that's a benefit. So if the fish are happy and the growth's there, then I'll try that out. As I say, I've been using it and I'm happy with it. So there's no complaints. The only complaints I would have had with Akari and the JPD side is a little bit dearer. But if you're rich, I'm not. If you're rich, you might not worry. But as I say, to keep my hobby at a sensible level where it's worth doing, it is the things like cheap running, like greenhouse heaters, because they are cheap to run, low cost. I'll show you my spoon. I think I've showed you that before. So even though I have won the plate now, the Walk of Shame in 2021, it's one of them things, as I said, this is what the hobby's like. And if you're showing fish, you get the Walk of Shame, but you also get the plate. You know what I mean? But as I said, on the day, that's all it's about. That's all it's about. On the day, what judges see, preparation of the fish. I mean, 2 weeks or 3 weeks before I took my fish to the show, it had a mark, like it was like red marks on it, and I'm thinking this ain't going to do nothing. Probably not even taking it. And then on the day, you think, you know what, who would take this? Like Lee Manning was here as well, but we like take it. You take it, not thinking anything, and then suddenly you win the coveted, I will say coveted, All England plate. I mean, I do feel that my hobby's nearly complete. I think the only thing I've got to win is the GC, but then do I put enough money into winning the GC? Not saying you have to put money in to win it, but obviously fish cost money, don't they? So we'll see how it goes. As I say, the one I've got is Mike Yumi, from Mike at Yumi. It's got me plate, so I can't complain. Well, I'll just show you now my filter system, because as I say, that is something that I spent time on. And as I say, all of this, the pond that I've got, works absolutely fantastic. I've got no issues with it at all. And I think I've said in other videos, this wasn't me. I knew what I wanted roughly, but this was like other koi hobbyists, like really good koi hobbyists. So I was at the All England show, and this is a good thing about shows, you can go there and talk to other like hobbyists. But I sat down at a table, and it just so happened I had a lot of the high-end hobbyists there, when I basically said, right guys, I've got my pen and paper. If you was going to build a pond again, what would you do? So this is what it would come up with. I think it's 18 foot by 8. It's only 4.5 foot deep. But as I say, this is the pond I come up with, and know what they said, and I've carried it all out. Returns like 2/3 in the water, 1/3 out. I've got one return like lower than the ones at the back, so there's one halfway down. I've done my skimmer in the centre of the back wall because I didn't want the water just going round straight down the skimmer. Got my air stone over there. I mean, everything that's here was what was recommended, and all I can say is with my fish, the bodies on them are no problem. They're all like nice bodies. There was some people that commented at the show that your bodies on your fish are really good. Yeah, I'm happy. Obviously the fish have to have the genetics first of all, otherwise you end up, well, with strips of bacon. But no, my fish are doing really well, so I'm pleased with that. There's quite a few fish in at the moment, so I'm helping someone out with their fish who I've known for a long time, but I've had their fish probably for a year or so now, I think it is. About a year and a half. So, but the filtration, you just heard it going off. That coat's no problem at all. That's a high fill, 50, which you can get from Koi Water Life. That's true. If you have a word with him. So what I'll do, I'll go out the back now, take my covers off of my showers, and then you can have a look at that, and we'll just have a little talk about that. So this is my high fill drum. It's belt driven. It's not belt driven, but it's got a belt, so it's not like a drum as such. But as you can see, the media's nice colour to it. That works all fine. That's the belt. Now when the water level comes up, you probably know this, but when it comes up to meet these sensors here, the belt then works and goes round. What I do is I'd spray some, it's like a food grade. I'll do a picture of what it is, but I've sprayed it on the belt like that, so it soaks. Only when I come in here now and again, so what will happen is, that'll have time to soak in, and then when it goes round, if you notice there, see at the back, how clean that belt is. If you don't use that, the actual spray that I use, then that becomes a little bit more browner, a bit brown like this a little bit. But using that, it tends to clear it, so that's a good idea. That was recommended by Drew, so that is what I do. Then at the back, as you can see on here, if I come back out, I use this pump, which pumps all my bubbles here, the air stones. The one behind that, this one here, that obviously feeds into the air stones inside the pond. And then over here, I've got another pump, which is a Blue Eco. With that pump, with that air pump there, that feeds the top of, that feeds me Xander protein skimmer. That feeds that to help remove particles, which is good. And as you can see down there, that's the pump just here. So that's the pump working there. On my system, I've got a baffle. So you've got the main exit from the drum, the high fill, but then it goes to a baffle that then takes off from 3 bottom drains and also from the skimmer. I don't get much any rubbish in the skimmer because obviously it's an indoor pond, so I don't really get any issues with that. Okay, let's move around the other side. So this is the freshwater Pro Skim 200. That's where your bubbles come out, which come up from the bottom. And then any debris or bits and pieces or excess protein that comes into the water is then overflown out of there. This is another video. If you look at another video, I've got that. You can actually look at how that protein skimmer works. So that's really good. Then I've got obviously my water filters, which I do get replaced by from Andy Finch Filtration. So you can give him a ring for that. I use that's a meter for my water meter. That is actually the water I've used since I've had it running. So what is that? That is 1308546. So maybe this the 01308 is what I need to have a look at and see how much water that is. Now when I come behind here, I'm going to take this off in a second. Behind here I've got 2 backy showers, but with my backy showers what I've done is I've got some that are just put in there randomly and some that I've got straight, so the water runs through it. The way I look at that is that when the water comes down, it'll go through the centre of a lot of it and go straight through, but then you do get more contact time on the other because it's actually hitting the sides and then running through slowly. So that way the flow's high, but also you're getting the contact time. But then on this side here, it's just put in randomly. So I think a lot of people put it in randomly. So when I take this off, we'll be able to see the difference between the two. Is there a difference? Is there not a difference? That'll be quite interesting. I haven't done that for a long time. I think this has been running now for about a year and a bit, as it in that way. So I think that's the last video. Probably more than that maybe. So that'll be interesting to see what that does. Over here I've got my skimmer with Burton's auto top up. It's got 3 prongs. One is low level, next one is high level, and then one just registers total. And then that's the actual top up mechanism there, which works. That works fine, no problems at all. I think I had a little bit of issue first of all, but it turned out to be a bit of carbon that was coming out of one of my filters. Not the ones I've got here from Finch, but it was one that was just a universal carbon filter. So that wasn't working very good with that. But since I've changed my filtration, everything's fine on it. Okay, let's get this off, lads, and have a look behind that and see what we got. Right, so here we go then. So you can see in there, these ones are the ones, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, 116, 117, 118, 1 sort of put in randomly. So if you look at that, there are some darker areas. Now you guys would know more, some of you guys would know more as to whether that's good or bad, but there are some dark points, see right there. So that's the water there. Now when you go over to this side is the ones that are put on standing up. And to be honest with you, if you look at all of that, you haven't got the dark points. That's only what I'm saying. That's only what I'm seeing. I mean, if you guys think any different, then you tell me. That's in the top one there. So would either way make a difference, you think? That just seems a lot more even colouring when you look at this side. Not a great deal. That's the actual filter working now, look. That's all the bubbles coming out. And off it goes again, all the media raises up. That keeps the media moving around. Then I spray some more of my gear on that, and then that keeps that clean. Right, so there's the showers. They all working well. That little bit of there, I think that's only slight, that build up there in the bottom part. But then when you come to here, the water, there's three of these, like 3-inch drains that run underneath. They go out through there, and then that's the return from the protein skimmer. Well, I hope you enjoyed the update. As I said, it's doing well. I'll show you some videos of the fish. I'll play that on here as well. It is hard work. It's not easy looking after fish, and it's not cheap either. I'm sure everyone's feeling the pinch on that. But as I said before, I'm happy with the fish the way they're going. I'm getting like bodies, and I'm getting them bodies quite easy. So it can only be the setup and the food you give them. Because I would imagine if you give them rubbish food, they'll become little porky pigs. Might be a couple in there that look like that, and myself maybe. But who knows, eh? Right, anyway, so I'll put this video up for you to have a look at. If you've got any comments, put them in the comment section. If you agree with some of the stuff, then great. If you don't, then great as well. Everyone's got their opinion. I've got the filtration again. That's only cleaning a bit more regular because I've cleaned some like muck out, so it's clearing that off of it as well. So normally it's up to about 15 minutes, but if you don't keep on the filter, at one point I was on like 5 and 6 minutes constantly going. So you're turning over water. But when I mentioned to you about the that meter I've got, the reason for the meter is that if you get in touch with Thames Water and say to them, look, your water's going to waste, which mine is, I'll show you where it goes in a minute, goes to waste on the garden, you get a discount. but you need to have a water meter to show you the water you're using and the water's not going back in the system, and then they discount you. So that is worth doing. At the moment my feeder's going off, so that's feeding the food, and the fish are straight down onto it, which is good. I'll try and show you. As I say, the water's a bit cloudy. You can see them down there. See, some's floating. They tend to grab the floating quick. But I think the actual amount I've got is a little bit. I don't think it's actually 1/3. I think at a minute it's probably more like 45 floating, and then the rest. Sorry, 45 sinking and the rest floating. But as I say, it's going off now, so the fish are going around getting that. Makes me feel hungry. I think I'm going to go and get a cup of tea. Look, Lee's coming round in a minute. I'll have a chat with him. He's a bit shy of the camera, but who knows? He might say something on camera. But anyway, stay tuned. Right, now we're talking about water going to waste or going on the garden. Right, well, mine goes on the garden, and how it works is that's where my filter is. That's me thing there. That's me pond house. But there's a 2-inch pipe comes out from over there, comes up, then it goes into this pipe here, one that runs along there, down there, and then on that pipe, that's got a load of like holes drilled in it, and then at the very end of the pipe, it comes out there. But as you can look, if you look there, see it there, see all the, that's where the water's running out from that pipe to the whole lot. I would imagine if I undone this here, see what happened now is, now that's undone, when the water come out, you get some water coming out here, but that just gets, I'll open it up a little bit, get rid of some of the waste. But as you can look at that there, it gets it wet all the time. I did use that. That's a loft tank. So what I used to do was I used to run the pipe, 2-inch pipe into that, and then I had a little valve on a hose lock pump that used to pump it onto the garden from a hose pipe. And then what I also used to do was I bought a hose lock pump, the big one, where you put it into there, so then I'd actually water all my garden, all the grass. So there's ways you can use it, but at the moment it just goes on and feeds these things here, which are like big now, probably because of that though. But in saying that, next door's at the same height, so I would imagine it's not much of a difference, but that does help. Now these drums here, I've got them from the car wash, but this is what I was using my wastewater to go to. So I had 3 of these, and I was having it like fill up, and then when it got to the last one, I had my what they call it, I had my waste one that used to, the float go up and it would pump it out from that. So I'd always have the 3 of them fill up if I needed to water the garden. So that's another way you can do it. So with those blue containers, water containers, I'll probably do 2 of them like in 24 hours. So it's quite a lot of water that I do use. But then Drew says that better the dirty water out than in the ponds, which I suppose is right, but as I say, I think as long as you've got the discounted water with your supplier, that's not so much of an issue. I've got my lovely whack-eye tree there, look, see that, look. Getting bigger, look. Bigger and bigger and bigger. Nearly touching the top there, boys. Nearly touching the ceiling. I think I'll have to dig a hole in to put it lower in the ground. So, question, am I happy with my hobby? Yeah, I am happy with my hobby. It's not easy. If you're not well sometimes, it's not easy either. But some of you old guys, you know who I'm talking about. It's not easy for you to go out there and sort your ponds out. That's me one that won reserve. That one there. See, I had that from Tosai. See, it's not one I got like later on in life, and then growing it from there. That was grown from 35 cm. If Andy Baker was here now, he'd say, "Mr. Angel, you are now a koi keeper." Whether I am is another matter. Anyway, no, I went to the going back to the All England Koi Show. That was good. I was a bit worried that it might not have been, but it was really good. A lot of dealers there. I didn't do a video, as I say, because my legs were playing up, so I couldn't do a lot of walking. But no, good turnout. The quality of fish was said by people and judges that it was one of the highest standards this year. So that's a good thing for the All England to have that, which is good again. Quite shocked at me Supreme Champion and my plate. But as I said back in when I was talking about it, you never know. You get someone who goes, "Oh, I don't know whether that should have won. Oh, should that one have got that, and I should have got that, and I should have got this." At the end of the day, there's so many like ways things can go right or wrong. Many times, a few times, I was told, "Oh, you're going to get something this year, Joe. Don't you worry." That was Andy Baker, though. He might have lied to me. No, anyway, and some of the others. Never did. Got close, but never. What do they say? Something but no cigar. Well, that was me. So close, but no cigar. But now I've got my plate. Lovely plate. It's always good to win a plate at the All England. So anyone who wants to get involved, they can. Hopefully things do get better. Hopefully things go down in price. Costs of like the electric and everything else is quite a killer. But hopefully things might change. I'm thinking about getting what do they call it, solar panels. So if I can pump again, yeah, solar panels. Maybe that has cut down on costs. Well, it would cut down on costs, but you're having to put money in it. But then some guys might be paying like I'm nowhere near it, but some guys were paying silly money, and that silly money would pay for solar panels fitted, and then it would become even cheaper for them. So that's something I am looking at. So we'll see how that goes. I think that's really all I can say in the update. 100% happy with the pond. If anyone wants to know any measurements, I can do that for you. It would be nice, and I've said this to a couple of the other guys, it would be nice. I know Roy had a high fill, and he done well with his fishing sizes. I've got a high fill, and I'm doing well. Well, I hope I'm doing well. You might say I'm doing rubbish looking at me fish, but I hope I'm doing well. But would a high fill be different to a Burton's drum? Would I put a Burton's drum on here and then maybe the fish are not as good? Maybe, I don't know. It's food for thought, isn't it? As I say, I'll give another shout out for Nutrimore. Keep saying Nitrimore. That used to be a paint stripper. I'm sure this hasn't got any paint stripper qualities in it. Yeah, Nutrimore. Yeah, give a shout out for that. It's doing. I used it long enough to say it's great, it's fantastic, but I've used it long enough to see that it hasn't made a difference from what I was feeding. So if I'm feeding the Kari and JPD, this seems to be giving the same sort of feedback. Maybe in the future I might notice a lot of difference, possibly, I don't know. That's just another test in itself, isn't it, to see whether it is. But as I say, you can get that from Dan. Give him a shout. Tell him I sent you. He might give you nothing off, or he might give you something off. I don't know. We don't work like that, but it's up to Dan if he helps you. Anyway, right. Listen, I'm going to love you and leave you. On a parting note, I will say I do miss my old mucker Andy. But it was nice for him to see me get me plate. He would have still wound me up, I would imagine, but as I say, very sad about it. He was an amazing guy in the koi hobby. He will be missed. But as I say, there is a trophy at the All England, the Andy Baker Trophy, Memorial Trophy. So if you can win that, that's good. It's some remembrance, isn't it, really, of what he did for the hobby. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna love you and leave you. Take care. I would say tight lines, but that's only for koi carp fishermen. But keep them torpedo shaped. Feed them well. Keep them heated, and enjoy your hobby. I hope you enjoy it as much as I enjoy mine. And who knows, one day you could be as good as me. Maybe one day you win a plate as well. There's quite a few koi shows you can go to, so there's many things you can win. But for me, it's always been a plate at the All England. So whether you like me fish or you don't, I really don't care. You got to be in it to win it. I was in it and I won it. So goodbye from me, and goodbye from me fish. Have a nice day. There's something else I've been using, Ultra Pond Detox. It's meant to remove nitrate, acid, rain and heavy metals. Helps with water changes, signs of stress and unknown behaviour. Don't know whether that's from the koi breeder or the koi themselves. But I've used that. That seems to be doing a job as well. So it's all these little things you can get that do help. As I say, the food at the moment is from Nutrimere with Dan. Speak to Dan. This comes from Mark Sledden, I think it was. I can't remember the name of the company, but he has that in stock. That's the final shot of them just chilling out and relaxing. Grazing off the top, some feeding at the bottom. Thanks for watching. So if you can like and subscribe, be good. Hopefully I'll get a few more videos up and running.